Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bird, what you
Yeah.
think?
No, I think
Come
that's
on,
really
man.
good. And I want to go back to what you said about understanding. I love that you brought that up from like
Yeah.
what the understanding of how we should be catered to, how this is what little girls thought and what they were taught and how, the reason why. Not that you're soft, but there is a softness about you. And then these men, it wasn't just about hunting and being like, it was like the reason for it was to care for your family. And so the things that we're
Right.
teaching is saying, hey, you know what? This woman should be cared for.
Yeah.
I need to understand that that is something natural for her. So it's not that she just needs me to take care of her. It's like that's a natural order. And people need to understand that it's bigger than like even what I was saying, like, oh, well, this is what I know. I love that you went back to that because that is something I think that's so foundational that even before we go into these conversations of she's been broken, like, why?
Yeah.
She's not even tapping. She doesn't have the energy to tap into her natural state because she's been forced
Yeah.
to tap in her masculine. Not that it's not a part of her, but
Right.
now this is overshadowing because she doesn't have that person to do that for her and her offspring, which is not just hers. So if another person comes in, even if it's not yours, let me say, wait a minute. It is my responsibility as a man who understands these roles. Because if I learned it or if I understand that this is who I am naturally to care for, whether this man or not, we need to care for the community. So let me step in and let this woman know, even if she's not going to be mine, you deserve this.
Stop trying to enforce gender roles when it's convenient for you, but then forgetting that there's gender roles when it's time for you to
Yeah.
extend that same courtesy.
Yo, I think that's why these interactions we're having are so important, right?
Yeah.
Because this is where the viewer or the listener should be learning,
Yes.
right? As a man, if I'm single, I'm a single guy right now, right? And I see a young lady who's in that situation and I'm interested in her. The way I'm going to approach that is how can I compliment you and not complicate the damn situation?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What is it that you need from me so we can allow this proper thing to happen? I got to be open enough and available enough, emotionally and intellectually available enough to say, how can I help you in this situation? Because I understand that you've been forced into this. And this has been your track record with relationships because of, men's behavior in the past. They've destroyed this or they destroyed that, and then you've been forced into this situation. But now, how can I come in here and help you correct this so you can play your proper position and I can play mine?
And even in a gentle way, because she may not be ready, because she could be so it's like I'm opening up and she may be like, yeah, okay, you open up what you want. So understanding that it may take some time for this process to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like
And
instead of saying, well, I came at you and I'm being nice, it's years
That's on both
and
sides.
Love
layers
is
of stuff.
patient. Love is
Patient,
kind.
yes.
All the things.
Yeah, that's dating.
Write down.
Relationship.
Take it easy.
Yeah, so when you go out there and you interrupt that woman's life, man, make sure that you ready. Haven't met a person yet who hasn't been cheated on, lied to, deceived, taken advantage of, or suffered some form of trauma from abuse. The question is, why are so many people allowing it to destroy their current and future relationships?
Well, I'll go ahead and jump in on this one. It takes work, man. It takes work. I shouldn't even make myself available to another person until I've done some internal work to heal. Like, you'll never be healed. Let me say that. We will never be healed. We can heal and we can be healing. But I need to give that to each every area of my life its proper attention, right? So if I know I've had some trauma or I've recently experienced a relationship, a relational explosion of some type. I need to heal from that. I need to bandage up my wounds, or I need to go get properly treated so I can get the surgery that I need, and I need to go through the physical therapy that I need to, and all that stuff so I can heal properly before I go allowing somebody into my space knowing that I've been harmed or knowing that I could possibly make them pay for fees that somebody else owes.
Come on, metaphors.
No, man, it is so common out here, man. Like, you know, and then you have people, and me, again, I've been out in the dating world. Like, you have people out there saying, you need to come to me healed. Like, what have you done specifically? Like? Yeah. What have you done specifically to heal from your damage? You know, have you even put pen to paper and
I have that requirement, and that's cliche to say, but you know just what a motherfucker mean when they say come healed. Ain't nobody, we've never arrived, but please have put in some work on yourself and let that be evident in the way you show up, because I've put in a lot of work, and so I'm gonna know if you have or if you haven't, and then I'm gonna judge because I let it be known that a requirement is come healed,
because you know what the work looked like, the
healing
result.
So let's not be funny.
I read this and I wanted to tap into this, that I find myself, because I've done some work and I've got deep into mine, because I done been through a whole bunch of fucking trauma, man. You know what I'm saying? I done been drugged, bro. And excuse me, let me rephrase that. I drugged my motherfucking self. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that do to me what I've done to myself, I'll kill them, man. Exactly. For real talk, man. Look, but I still find myself today to where I would say, do, or act out on something or feel a certain kind of way. And then in my 11:59, I questioned myself on my inventory. Why? Why did you act out in that way? And then I had to tap out and find out it was just part of something that I didn't tap into as far as my healing journey. So therefore, that goes into the part that you'll never arrive. Of course, yes, because there's still going to be some things that you don't understand that your mind automatically has shut down, that you really haven't gotten tapped into yet, that still can affect you today. But the major things, you know what I'm saying, you have to address those things, you know what I'm saying? People, if you've been through, men and women, but especially men, because you hold on to this so long and so to your grave sometime, molestation, you know what I'm saying? You have to get in the healing process of that. You're going to have to speak that out loud, you know what I'm saying? You cannot hold on to that and function inside of love relationships, or even just general relationships, as your true self. Because that's a major trauma that you have had to yourself, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, if you've lost, we lose people through our journey of life. But as we lose people, certain people, like I've lost my mom, that was huge to me because I was my mom's baby, man. That's my hero, bro. And I had to, and the way it happened was so cold-blooded, man. I didn't know my mama was gone till 2 years later, bro. And I'm sitting up in the penitentiary on the phone when I found out. So you know what I'm saying? How it was delivered to me was just raw, man. You know what I'm saying? The rawest thing that ever happened to me that hit my heart so hard was delivered raw. So you know what I'm saying? I had to, man, I had to lock myself, required to be locked up in a hole, man. Because I didn't know how I was going to react, man. You know what I'm saying? They put me down for 10 days, man, till I had to and I didn't know nothing about processing. I just went in there and cried. Man, and cried for 10 days, bro, before they put me back on the yard, man. So there's big things, there's small things, but there are things that happen in your life. There are even things that happen in your life that you don't even identify as trauma, and they are. A loss of a loved one, as far as in a relationship, you and a loved one, somebody you love, broke up. That's trauma. You know what I'm saying? You know, losing a job. That's trauma. You know what I'm saying? So in certain things, rejection in itself is trauma. You know what I'm saying? Bird, talk to me.
Oh, interesting. Got a whole book about this. In the absence of, and I think one of the things, to your point, to both of your point, you never fully get over it. And so be aware of that. You lose somebody, you go through the pain of grief, and then 3 years later, your mama's song come on the radio. It's gonna affect you. So what you're learning to do is navigate those triggers and those moments better each time. You recognize it. But also, you said several different losses. People understand the grief process when someone dies. When you get out of a relationship, you still go through the grief process. You lose a job, you still have to go through the grief process. And if people are aware of that, it's like, oh, this is going to take some time. I'm like you, I had 7 losses, well, actually, several losses over 7 years. My dad passed 3 weeks after my wedding. My mom and dad were like, they had been married forever. Like they were that couple. So when my mom was like a very strong woman. So my dad died, like a piece of her was gone. We're all looking like, oh, wait a minute. She's always there for everybody else. We had to step up. 7 years later, miscarriages and all these other things. My grandmother passed, all of this. I didn't even realize that I hadn't fully grieved my father until my mom passed 7 years later. Because I had just gone into this, okay, I got married, dealing with the kids, gotta help my mom.
Covering it up.
I didn't even know. I thought I was. I was like, okay, I'm good. I cried. I had my cry. I went through the 7 steps.